For most of human history, wolves were not pets. They were danger. If you were alive during the Ice Age and heard wolves howling beyond the firelight, you would not think they were cute. You would not think they belonged beside children. You would not imagine them sleeping near your feet. You would know one thing. Something powerful was moving in the dark, and you might be food. Wolves had teeth made for tearing flesh, bodies built for distance, packs built for strategy. They could track what humans could not smell, hear what humans could not hear, and move through the night in ways that made them almost impossible to ignore. And yet, out of all the animals living beside early humans, mammoths, cave lions, giant bears, hyenas, bison, horses, and reindeer, the wolf was the one that crossed the line. Not to kill us, not to run from us, but to live beside us. Today, dogs are everywhere. They sleep in our homes. They guard our doors. They guide the blind. They find people buried under snow. They sit beside frightened children. They search disaster zones. They go to war with humans, cross oceans with humans, and appear in graves beside humans, thousands of years old. But none of that was planned from the beginning. No Ice Age hunter looked at a wolf and said, "This would make a good family animal." No ancient camp decided what we really need is a predator near the children. The beginning was slower, stranger, and maybe more equal than we like to imagine, because the first move may not have been made by humans. It may have been made by wolves. So why did humans start keeping dogs? To understand that, you have to begin with the wolf's world. Around 30,000 years ago, wolves lived across much of the northern world, Europe, Asia, North America. They were among the most successful predators of the Ice Age. But successful does not mean safe. A wolf pack lived by taking risks. They hunted animals much larger than themselves. Bison, elk, caribou, horses, sometimes even young or weakened mammoths. Those animals were not helpless. One kick could break a jaw. One horn could open a body. One bad hunt could injure a wolf badly enough to end its life. And even when wolves made a kill, they did not always keep it. Other predators were waiting. Cave hyenas, cave lions, bears, rival wolf packs. The Ice Age was not a peaceful wilderness. It was a world of hunger competing with hunger. Every meal had to be won. Every winter could destroy a pack. Then humans became part of the landscape. From a wolf's point of view, humans were strange animals. They were not the strongest predators. They had no claws, no heavy jaws, no thick fur, no natural armor. But they had fire, they had tools, they had shelters, they had weapons. And most importantly, they left food behind. A human camp was not just smoke and noise. It was bones, scraps, skin, fat, organs, cracked marrow bones, leftover meat. For a hungry wolf at the edge of winter, that mattered. Because in a world where every hunt could kill you, a human camp offered something rare. Predictable calories. Not a full meal every time. Not safety. Not friendship. But possibility. And possibility is enough for evolution to begin working. The aggressive wolves that rushed too close were probably killed. The most fearful wolves stayed too far away and gained nothing. But the wolves that were slightly calmer, slightly less reactive, slightly better at staying near humans without attacking or fleeing, those wolves could eat. They survived more often. They raised pups more often. And over many generations, calm wolves bred with other calm wolves. No wolf decided to become a dog. No human had a full plan. But evolution does not need a plan. It only needs small differences repeated long enough. A little less fear, a little more tolerance, a little more patience near the fire. Generation after generation, those traits began to matter. This is one of the strongest ideas in dog domestication. Dogs may not have begun as animals humans captured. They may have begun as wolves that domesticated themselves around us. The old story says ancient humans stole wolf pups from dens, raised them by hand, and slowly turned them into dogs. Maybe that happens sometimes, but many researchers think it cannot explain the whole story. Wolves are difficult to tame. Their socialization window is short. Adult wolves do not simply become loyal camp animals because someone wants them to. Something deeper had to happen across many generations. The wolves that stayed near humans had to become biologically different. Not instantly, slowly, through survival, through selection, through the rewards of being less afraid. And the timing fits the mystery. Genetic studies suggest the split between dogs and wolves is ancient and complicated, likely beginning tens of thousands of years ago. The exact place and date are still debated. But by the end of the Ice Age, dogs were already different enough from wolves to have their own deep history. By around 11,000 years ago, ancient DNA shows at least 5 major dog lineages already existed. That means dogs were not a late invention of farmers. They were with hunter-gatherers before agriculture transformed the world, before sheep, before goats, before cattle, before horses. The first domesticated animal was not an animal we milked, rode, or raised for meat. It was a predator. Think about that. Humans did not begin domestication with a harmless animal. We began with a rival hunter. Why would two predators ever trust each other? Because each had something the other lacked. Wolves could smell a trail across frozen ground. They could detect prey from far away. They could sense movement in darkness. They could notice danger before humans did. Humans had weapons: fire, planning, language, long-distance coordination, better daylight vision, and the ability to finish a kill from a distance. Together, they formed something new: a hunting partnership. Wolves could help locate, track, and pressure prey. Humans could kill more efficiently and divide the meat. Both sides gained. The wolf got food without taking every risk alone. The human got senses and warning systems no human body could ever produce. And the benefits did not stop with hunting. A wolf near camp could hear danger before a human woke. It could smell a bear approaching. It could react to rival groups, predators, or strange movement in the dark. A camp with tame wolves or early dogs nearby may have been safer than a camp without them. The fire protected the wolf protected the fire. That is where the relationship became powerful. Not ownership. Not yet. More like a treaty between species. Two hunters standing near the same flame, realizing that survival was easier together than apart. Would you call that domestication? Or would you call it the first alliance humans ever made with another animal? Now move the map to Ice Age Europe. This is where the story becomes more controversial. When modern humans entered Europe, Neanderthals were already there. They had survived for hundreds of thousands of years. They were strong, intelligent, and adapted to cold. For most of their history, they were among the dominant humans of Europe. Then, within a few thousand years of modern humans expanding across the region, Neanderthals disappeared. The reasons are still debated: climate, small populations, competition, disease, interbreeding, changing environments, maybe all of them together. But anthropologist Pat Shipman proposed another possible factor: dogs, or wolf dogs. Her argument is that modern humans may have gained a major advantage by forming partnerships with canids, while Neanderthals left no clear evidence of doing the same. At some Upper Paleolithic sites, humans were associated with mammoth bone structures and large concentrations of mammoth remains. If early dogs helped humans track, harass, locate, or guard kills, that could have made hunting more efficient. And in a harsh Ice Age world, even a small advantage could matter. This theory is not proven. It is debated. Neanderthals did not vanish because of one simple reason. But the idea is powerful because it shows how important the human-dog partnership may have become. Dogs may not have only changed daily life. They may have changed competition itself. They may have made Homo sapiens better hunters, better guards, better travelers, and better survivors. And in prehistory, better survival changes everything. Now move the map forward to Germany. At Bonn-Oberkassel, archaeologists found one of the most famous early dog burials. The dog was buried with 2 humans around 14,000 years ago, and later studies suggested the animal may have been sick for weeks before it died. That means people may have cared for it when it was no longer useful. They may have fed it, kept it alive, protected it, and then buried it with humans. That matters, because a working animal can be valued for what it does, but a sick animal requires something else: care, attachment, maybe even love. By this point, the relationship was no longer only about scraps, hunting, or warning calls. Dogs had crossed into the emotional world of humans. They were not just near the camp, they belonged to it. If a dog could no longer hunt, guard, or help, why keep it alive? Why bury it with people? Maybe because by then, dogs were no longer only useful. They were family. Now move the map north, to the Baltic Sea. Recent archaeological work on a small isolated island off Sweden found wolf remains in a human archaeological context. The island had no natural reason to hold wolves. The animals seemed to have reached it with humans. Isotope analysis showed they ate a marine diet, rich in seals and fish, matching the food of the humans there. The remains were wolves, not dogs. But they were wolves living in a human world, fed by humans, brought by humans, kept close to humans. That discovery matters because it shows how complicated the boundary between wolf and dog could be. Domestication was not a single clean moment. It was not one day wolf, next day dog. For thousands of years, there may have been many relationships. Wild wolves near camps, tame wolves fed by humans, early dogs hunting beside people, canids traveling with groups, some close, some distant, some useful, some loved. The line between enemy and companion was not drawn at once. It was negotiated over generations. And that may be the real story. And then, wolves did not simply surrender. Both species adjusted. Both species watched each other. Both species tested the distance. The wolf that came too close died. The wolf that stayed too far starved. The human who trusted too quickly risked injury. The human who killed every calm wolf lost an opportunity. Somewhere between fear and hunger, a new relationship formed. That relationship changed wolves. Their bodies shifted. Their skulls changed. Their behavior softened. Their attention turned toward humans. Over time, dogs became unusually good at reading us. They follow our pointing. They watch our faces. They respond to our voices. Some research even suggests domestication changed dog facial muscles, helping create the expressive eyes humans respond to so strongly. That look your dog gives you is not an accident. It is evolution learning how to reach the human brain. But the relationship changed humans too. Dogs helped us hunt, guard, travel, herd, carry, find, warn, search, comfort. They expanded what humans could do. A human with a dog is not the same animal as a human alone. It is a partnership, a shared sensory system, a second nose, a night alarm, a tracker, a companion, a living bridge between the wild and the home. That is why dogs became different from every other domesticated animal. Cattle gave milk, sheep gave wool, goats gave meat, horses gave speed. But dogs gave relationship first. They were not simply property. They were a presence. They entered the human circle before farming, before cities, before kings, before writing. They were there when humans still lived by firelight. And maybe that is why the bond feels so old. Because it is older than civilization, older than agriculture, older than almost every other partnership humans ever made. So why did humans start keeping dogs? Because wolves discovered that humans left food behind. Because humans discovered that wolves could hear the dark. Because two dangerous species found a way to become less dangerous to each other. Because survival rewarded the calm wolf and the patient human. Because the fire had warmth on one side and hunger on the other. And because, over thousands of years, staying started to make more sense than leaving. The first wolf that lingered near the fire did not know it was changing history. The first human who allowed it to stay did not know either. But that quiet decision changed both species forever. It changed how humans hunted, how they slept, how they traveled, how safe they felt in the dark. And it changed wolves so completely that their descendants now sleep in our beds and look at us with faces shaped by thousands of years of shared life. Two predators, one fire, a distance that grew smaller every generation. And somewhere in that space between fear and trust, the first dog was born.